Welcome, my frightful friends, to a scary and yet sad occasion. That's right, it's our grand finale. Over the last 5 weeks, we've presented the very best in classic horror films, and this evening's movie is at the pinnacle. This ghoulish flick features a name synonymous with horror, Mr. Vincent Price. In this colorized version of the classic from 1958, you'll find the latest in scaring technology. Almost worthy of a Scooby-Doo episode. Ruh-roh! Good luck figuring out who's killing who. If the phantoms or the handguns don't get you, perhaps the skeletons will. Now, my minions, come inside my house on Haunted Hill.
Are moving tonight, restless, hungry. May I introduce myself? I'm Watson Pritchard. In just a minute, I'll show you the only really haunted house in the world. Since it was built a century ago, 7 people, including my brother, have been murdered in it. Since then, I've owned the house. I've only spent one night there, and when they found me in the morning, I was almost dead.
I'm Frederick Loren, and I've rented the house on Haunted Hill tonight so that my wife can give a party. A haunted house party. She's so amusing. There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited. If any of you will spend the next 12 hours in this house, I'll give you each $10,000. Or your next of kin in case you don't survive. Ah, but here come our other guests. It was my wife's idea to have our guests come in funeral cars. She's so amusing. Her sense of humor is, shall we say, original. I dreamed up the hearse. It's empty now, but after a night in the house on Haunted Hill, who knows? This is Lance Schroeder, a test pilot, so no doubt a brave man. But don't you think you can be much braver if you're paid for it? And I happen to know that Lance needs the $10,000 I'll give him, if he's brave enough to stay all night. This is Ruth Bridges. You've no doubt read her column in the newspapers. She says her reason for coming to the party is to write a feature article on ghosts. She's also desperate for money. Gambles. You've already met Watson Pritchard, a man living in mortal fear of a house, and yet he is risking his life to spend another night here. I wonder why. He says for money. This is Dr. David Trent, a psychiatrist. He claims that my ghost will help his work on hysteria. But don't you see a little touch of greed there around the mouth and eyes? This is Nora Manning. I picked her from the thousands of people who work for me because she needed the $10,000 more than most. Supports her whole family. Isn't she pretty? The party's starting now, and you have until midnight to find the house on Haunted Hill.
Where's everybody?
It isn't a very warm welcome, is it?
Only the ghosts in this house are glad we're here.
Are we all strangers to each other? Don't you two know each other?
I'm afraid I don't even know your name.
I'm Nora Manning.
Lance Schroeder.
Is Frederick Loren a friend of yours?
I've heard of him, but I've never met him.
I work for one of his companies, but I've never seen him.
I've never met the man either. Just a phone call. Do you know him?
No,
Well, then you're the only one of us who does.
I don't know him. All the details about renting the house were done by mail.
He's quite wealthy, isn't he?
Millions.
And 5 wives, I believe.
4, I think, so far.
A $50,000 party for only 5 people is a little steep, even for a millionaire.
Well, if I were going to haunt anybody, this would certainly be the house I'd do it in.
Who closed the door?
This thing's made of solid steel.
Annabelle. Our guests are here, unfortunately still alive. Is your face on yet?
Dust and dirt everywhere, and the water barely trickles. Couldn't you have had the place cleaned?
Atmosphere, darling. You know how ghosts are. They never tidy up. And that's a very fetching outfit, but hardly suitable for a party.
I'm not going to the party.
The spend-the-night ghost party was your idea, remember? Since it's going to cost me $50,000, I want you to have fun.
The party was my idea until you invited all the guests. Why all these strangers? Why none of our friends?
Friends? Do we have any friends?
No, your jealousy took care of that.
I had a reason for inviting each guest. I wanted kind of a cross-section. From psychiatrist to typist, and from drunk to jet pilot. They share one thing. They all need money. Now let's see if they're brave enough to earn it.
And you call this a party?
Could be.
Why do you always do that? It spoils the champagne.
It might explode.
Never does.
Would you guarantee that?
That isn't funny, Frederick.
Make a good headline. Playboy kills wife with champagne cork. Will you join me?
No, thank you.
Just a sip might improve your humor.
My humor is fine, thanks. And I haven't poisoned it.
It's always good to know that. Have some. You'll enjoy the party more. Go on.
Your trust is so touching. And I'm not going to the party.
Of all my wives, you're the least agreeable.
But still alive.
Would you go away for $1 million and tax-free? You want it all, don't you?
I deserve it all. Your jealousy isn't tax-free, and your possessiveness is maddening.
If ever a man had grounds for divorce,
But can't prove them.
the time will come. You'll slip up one of these days,
Think so?
if I live long enough. You remember the fun we had when you poisoned me?
Something you ate, the doctor said.
Yes, arsenic on the rocks. Annabelle, you'd do it again if you thought you could get away with it, wouldn't you?
Darling, what makes you think that?
Something about you. I hear that hanging is very uncomfortable, in case you get any more ideas. Now, don't let the ghosts and the ghouls disturb you, darling.
Darling, the only ghoul in the house is you.
And don't sit up all night thinking of ways to get rid of me. It makes wrinkles.
This is what she used on my brother and her sister. Hacked them to pieces. We found parts of the bodies all over the house, in places you wouldn't think. The funny thing is the heads have never been found. Hands and feet and things like that. But no heads.
The wife, probably in a rage, threatened her husband with a knife and then, carried away by hysteria, took a swing at him and simply went on from there.
She certainly went on. How many people did she kill, Mr. Pritchard?
Only two. Her husband and her sister. No one else was here.
So there are two loose heads just floating around in here somewhere?
You can hear them at night. They whisper to each other and then cry.
Since our host isn't here, would anyone care to mix me a drink?
Certainly. What will you have?
Good evening. I'm your host, Frederick Loren. Since we're all strangers to each other, let's get acquainted with a drink, shall we?
Mr. Loren, I advise you to call this party off now. The ghosts are already moving, and that's a bad sign.
Let me apologize for my wife. She'll join us later. What do you have?
Scotch and.
Doctor?
I'll have the same.
Now, before the party begins, let's go over the details. The caretakers will leave at midnight, locking us in here until they come back in the morning. Once the door is locked, there's no way out. The windows have bars that a jail would be proud of, and the only door to the outside locks like a vault. There's no electricity, no phone, no one within miles, so no way to call for help.
Like a coffin.
So if any of you decide not to stay for the party, you must let me know before midnight. Of course, if you leave, I shan't be able to pay you anything.
I'm interested in your reasons for this, party. Aside from the pleasant company.
Ghosts, Doctor. I think everyone wonders what they would do if they saw a ghost. And now my wife has given us all the opportunity to find out.
Amusing. Ghosts, etc., being only creations of hysteria, your party should be a success.
Well, Pritchard here promises us genuine ghosts.
7 now. Maybe more before morning.
That's cheerful.
4 men have been murdered in this house. And 3 women.
You planned your party very well, Mr. Loren. 4 of us are men, 3 are women. Well, a ghost for everybody.
And Pritchard, why don't you take us on a tour through the house and let's see what happens, huh?
See that stain? Blood. A young girl was killed here. And whatever got her wasn't human. Don't stand there.
What do you mean? Where?
It's too late. They've marked you.
Ridiculous. The roof probably leaks.
Oh, that must be what it is. Who would want to haunt me?
I would say any self-respecting male ghost.
I hope it doesn't come back.
Well, Mr. Pritchard, you're the life of the party.
Oh, he hasn't even started yet. Wasn't there a man who threw his wife into a wine vat or something?
That was in the cellar. There's been a murder almost every place in this house. All this belonged to a Mr. Norton, who didn't die here. He was electrocuted later. Mr. Norton did a good deal of experimenting with wines, but his wife didn't think it was any good. So he filled the vat with acid and threw her in. She was supposed to stay down, but the bones came up. It's a funny thing, but none of the murders here were just ordinary. Just shooting or stabbing. They've all been sort of wild, violent, and different.
Look out!
Thank God she didn't fall in.
You mean there's still acid in there?
destroys everything with hair and flesh. Just leaves the bones. My, it's dry and dusty down here.
Well, there's a cure for that upstairs. Come on.
How'd you get invited to this party? No. Oh, go on. I mean, what'd he tell you?
Mr. Loren said everybody'd get $10,000.
But he didn't say anything about being locked in.
No.
He just made a deal with me on the phone, but nothing about having to stay.
Aren't you going to stay?
If I don't, I lose $10,000.
I'm going to stay, too. $10,000.
Yeah. You believe in ghosts?
I don't know.
Well, I agree with what that doc says. You can spook yourself. I've done it in planes. Seen things that weren't really there. Or were they? What are you going to do with your $10,000? If we get it.
What do you mean, if we get it? Won't he pay us if we stay?
Ah, sure he will. 10,000 is no more to him than a nickel is to us.
We were in an automobile accident. Now I'm the only one in the family who can make any money.
Boy, I've never seen so many doors. Closet. Bottles.
Does it go anywhere?
This week on Talk About Topeka, it's the last of our special coverage for Topeka municipal elections. I'll referee the District 5 candidates Terry Crowder and Michelle De La Isla, along with the mayoral candidates Larry Woolgast and Michael Ogle. Tonight, with a record-setting third appearance on our show, Miss Karen Hastings returns to tell us all about her stage production of Driving Miss Daisy. Here's what she had to say about it last time.
It's a show I've always wanted to do. I mean, I was always so young and not ready for it, but now I am.
Today, I meet with Topeka City Manager Jim Colson.
People want to see a downtown.
We'll discuss the tough topics that are on Topeka's minds, such as, well, Beyonce's new hair, the fourth Wolverine film in 10 years, the whereabouts of Jimmy Hoffa. Like Talk About Topeka on Facebook, and find all of this great coverage in the archives on talkabouttopeka.com. Field of Greens has been a favorite locally owned downtown lunch spot ever since we opened in 2002. We had a dream that if we built it with the freshest ingredients, then people would come, and they did. We specialize in a salad bar with over 50 toppings to choose from. Homemade soups that would make your mom proud, because our mom cooks them from scratch every day. We've taken the art of baked potatoes to a new high with more unique toppings and combinations than you could possibly dream up. We also feature a full line of sandwiches and quesadillas made fresh to order. But what about something to quench your thirst? Field of Greens proudly brews many delicious flavors of Harney & Sons iced tea daily. Along with Coke products and Jet Tea smoothies, you'll be certain to find something that fills your craving. Did we mention the fresh baked cookies? Yeah, Mom makes those too. Come down and find out why Field of Greens has become a daily downtown tradition for so many people. For soups, salads, sandwiches, spuds, and smoothies, let our family serve you and yours. We're the Schultzes, and we proudly chose to do it downtown. Won't you join us?
I don't get scared easy, but I heard this place is really scary.
Go if you dare. Hey there, everybody. It's me, Terrible Tim, host of Drive-In Movie Maniacs. Don't be caught dead like my friend here. Be sure to tune in to our premiere Halloween night, 8 p.m. on Retro TV 25.9. TV 25. There's always something on.
We're very excited at Full Moon Productions today in introducing Medusa. She's very mesmerizing at 25 feet and 2 inches. And she's part of our family here at Full Moon, the Edge of Hell haunted attraction in Kansas City. And we're very proud of her that even though she's young, she has achieved this wonderful record and recognition.
You know, these are apex predators. They will go after what they can and they will do what they do. I think that's part of the fascination of them.
She's very beautiful in her own kind of deathly way.
Well, we're out here at Lake Shawnee. We're setting up Winter Wonderland, and I am here with my 10th grade biology teacher. I don't know whether I should call you Sherry or Mrs. Lundry. So we're on top of the drive-thru.
We're on top of the drive-thru.
I'm here with Eric Johnson. He's the president of the MTAA, and we're at Topeka Regional Airport. We're here at the Great Overland Station. We're going to be taking you all around the Railroad Festival. It's a beautiful Saturday. Let's get started. I'm jumping around like a grown man should not do, but I'm still doing it anyways because I really don't care. So, what brings you to the Railroad Festival here today? Uh-huh. Oh, and by the way, I love what you do for me. Toyota! We're going to come see Going Bonkers on an episode soon. So,
okay.
yeah, very good.
Like Talk About Topeka on Facebook and find all of this great coverage in the archives on talkabouttopeka.com. 10 unique TV networks broadcasting free to 2.2 million viewers. Topeka, Lorens, and Kansas City. Locally owned and operated, there's always something on TV 25. Watch your favorite vintage game shows on Buzzer on 25.1. Quench your thirst for crime and court programming on the Justice Network on 25.2. Q brings you an eclectic blend of new, memorable, and original content on 25.3. Find a wealth of new and classic country content on Heartland on 25.4. Stay current on the latest national headlines with Newsmax on 25.5. Weather Nation keeps you ahead of the storms with national and local weather on 25.6. For the high-performance car, motorcycle, boat, and plane enthusiast, Revin is on 25.7. For sports enthusiasts, Untamed Sports is on 25.8. Retro TV provides the best in classic television on 25.9. The Works offers feature films, sports, and comedies with news from the Huffington Post on 25.10. 24/7, 365. We are TV 25, where there's always something on.
The Ennis Brown House in Los Angeles, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright and built in 1924, is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. This home was used for the exterior shots of the haunted house during the film's opening sequence. The West Bottoms is considered the original Kansas City. It's where it all began, next to the river, but with continued flooding moved up the hill. The architectural structure to this day is absolutely beautiful and originated in the late 1800s and early 1900s as the cobblestone streets and the towering buildings. It was the perfect place when we drove down into the area in the early 1980s looking for that spot for the edge of hell. It gave us a sense of what the haunted attraction would be like and created a set that was naturally there within the building that no one could have afforded to start from scratch. What is amazing is that now, with the revival of the area, all of the historical types of pieces and antiques, architectural structure pieces that are sold is showing the true beautification and puts everything back to once upon a time.
Lance is gone? Gone where?
We'll have to break it down. It's locked.
Locked?
You all right?
Nothing that money won't cure. I must have bumped my head.
And the only way you could bump your head in here is to run head on into the wall. You didn't do that, did you? Let's get a bandage on that.
I wonder why they didn't kill him.
Who?
He didn't bump his head. They hit him.
They?
Nora, when you came in, you said something about a ghost.
There was something.
What did it look like?
Well, it was wearing a black thing that went all the way to the floor.
Weren't you a little frightened at the time?
Well, yes.
That, Mr. Loren, is hysteria.
But then, Doctor, how do you explain what happened to Lance? Was that hysteria, too?
You better get that checked in a day or so.
Thanks, Doc.
The ghosts are coming closer, Mr. Loren.
You really believe in your pet ghost, don't you, Pritchard?
Before the night's over, you will, too.
Would you like a drink, Lance?
No, thanks.
I'd like one. Scotch and. Mr. Loren, are you really going to pay anyone who stays all night?
Certainly. $10,000.
Will there be much red tape or delay?
You in a hurry, dear?
Frankly, yes. Or frantically.
There you are, my dear.
Someone or something was in here when I came in. But where? And if the door was locked, how did it get out? What you saw might have been a ghost, Nora, but what was in here with me was no ghost.
I don't know. I was so scared.
Does it sound different to you?
Yes.
Three, 6, 9, 12. 12 feet. Three, 6. Now, I'm going to knock on the other wall. When you hear me, you knock on this wall. Tap lower down. Where'd it come from?
From in here.
What if it ran out of here? I'd have seen it.
Lance, it doesn't run. It just floats.
Yeah, but why didn't I see it?
You don't believe me.
Well, how can I?
I'm Annabelle Loren. You must be Miss Manning. I realize this is a very unusual and I'm afraid very dull party. Wouldn't you like to freshen up? This is your room. Depressing, isn't it?
I doubt if I'll spend much time here.
It's going to rain. Perfect atmosphere for my husband's party. Why did you come here?
He said he'd give me $10,000.
Why did he pick you?
I don't know. My supervisor just came and said I'd been invited.
How long have you known my husband?
I just met him tonight.
So? Why you? What were you doing wandering around by yourself?
Well, I was in the cellar with Lance, Mr. Schroeder, and I just left, that's all.
Don't do it again. Don't go anywhere in this house by yourself. Now fix your face and I'll come by for you in a few minutes.
But
You're in danger. We all are.
But who?
I hope for your sake you never find out. I'm Annabelle Loren. Were you looking for something?
Not exactly.
Are you the doctor?
No, I'm Lance Schroeder.
The pilot. You've hurt yourself.
Oh, it's just a bump on the head. Which is my room?
I believe this is it.
Thank you, Mrs. Loren.
Annabelle, Lance. You were with the young girl in the cellar. Why was she so upset?
Was she?
And you don't look like the type to go around bumping his head. What really happened, Lance?
Well, Nora thought she saw a ghost, but I didn't see anything.
She was just frightened then.
And mad at me, I think. I kidded her about it.
I wouldn't joke about anything else that happens here tonight.
Now, don't tell me you're taking all this seriously.
Aren't you?
Well, I'd like to find out what hit me.
Lance. If I need help, may I count on you?
Yeah, sure, I guess so. Look, what's going on here anyway? I mean, what is with this party bit?
This is no party. He's planning something.
Your husband?
I wish I knew what it was.
Must be pretty big if he's going to lay out 50,000.
The money doesn't mean anything. He has a reason for getting us all up here to this dreadful old house.
Well, what for? He doesn't even know us.
Maybe that's exactly why you're here.
Well, what can he get away with?
Oh, he thinks that big money like his can get away with anything. You know, of course, that I'm his fourth wife. The first simply disappeared. The other two died. Lance, I don't want to join them.
You mean he,
Oh, his doctor said they died of heart attacks. 2 girls in their 20s.
Well, what can he do?
My husband is sometimes insane with jealousy. Nothing matters to him then. Please be careful.
Would he hurt you?
He would kill me if he could.
Annabelle, you're missing all the fun. Nora Manning was almost killed by a falling chandelier. The pilot bashed his head in.
Is he badly hurt?
The Saturnine psychiatrist bandaged him up. Don't you want to go and console him, as you do most men, in your fashion?
You're so clever, Frederick.
Yes, I lie awake nights wondering why I married you. It was rather a mistake.
You didn't marry me, dear. I married you. Unpleasant, but no mistake.
Well, hurry up.
Frederick, for the last time, I'm not going to your party.
And for the last time, it's not my party, but yours. And you are going.
I am not.
You ready, dear?
No.
Are you ready, dear?
Yes, damn you.
Would you adore me as much if I were poor? No. All you want to be is a lovely widow. It's almost time to lock up the house. And then your party will really begin. I wonder how it'll end. It's close to midnight, Lance.
Okay. I'll be down in a minute.
Who is it?
Your host, my dear. It's almost midnight, Nora. We're all going to get together down in the living room.
All right, Mr. Loren. I'll be right down.
Come with us before he kills you.
Where's Nora? Miss Manning.
I don't want to stay here.
Nora, what happened? That's Jonas Slides and his wife. They've been caretakers here for years. She's blind, you know.
I'm not going to stay here.
Well, Doctor, it looks like we have a real case of hysteria on our hands.
I think she's just a little upset, not hysterical.
Good evening.
Hello, my dear. This is my wife. These are our guests. Ruth Bridges, Dr. Trent. You know Watson Pritchard, of course. Nora Manning, and this is Lance Schroeder.
Get me out of here.
Now, what about the 10,000?
I don't care. He wants to kill me.
Who wants to kill you?
Mr. Loren.
May I have your attention, please? I think you all remember the bargain we made about staying all night. $10,000 apiece. If any of you don't survive, $50,000 will be divided amongst the rest of you. If I should die, you will be paid by my estate. When the door is locked from the outside by the caretakers, we'll all be forced to stay in this house until morning. If any of you decide not to stay, you must leave with the caretakers now. You won't have a chance to change your minds later, because there'll be no way to get out.
I don't want to stay.
Wait.
And then as we look right outside this door here, we are going to step out and see the Douglas DC-3 that we are going to be flying on today, taking to the skies. It's going to be a breathtaking trip. Say a little prayer for us, please.
Well, welcome to the State House.
We're going to have a top to bottom tour, literally.
Nice new copper.
Yeah, it is.
Come on. They knocked.
Well,
that was the outside. Look outside. It's great.
I fly down to where the Topeka Library has stood for the last 60 years. I meet with the CEO, Gina Millsap, and Diana Friend takes us on a tour behind the scenes. If you have any overdue library books, now would be the time to return them. Like Talk About Topeka on Facebook and find all of this great coverage in the archives on talkabouttopeka.com. Field of Greens has been a favorite locally owned downtown lunch spot ever since we opened in 2002. We had a dream that if we built it with the freshest ingredients, then people would come, and they did. We specialize in a salad bar with over 50 toppings to choose from. Homemade soups that would make your mom proud, because our mom cooks them from scratch every day. We've taken the art of baked potatoes to a new high with more unique toppings and combinations than you could possibly dream up. We also feature a full line of sandwiches and quesadillas made fresh to order. But what about something to quench your thirst? Field of Greens proudly brews many delicious flavors of Harney & Sons iced tea daily. Along with Coke products and Jet Tea smoothies, you'll be certain to find something that fills your craving. Did we mention the fresh baked cookies? Yeah, Mom makes those too. Come down and find out why Field of Greens has become a daily downtown tradition for so many people. For soups, salads, sandwiches, spuds, and smoothies, let our family serve you and yours. We're the Schultzes, and we proudly chose to do it downtown. Won't you join us?
You're sweeter than...
Oh, no, not that rhythm, Junior. Do it the way they do at the plaza. I know the words.
Sure, Becky. Will you sing with me?
Of course.
Do you think this place is really haunted?
All right.
I love a man who's pretty and smart and clever.
Sweeter than honey, finer than wine. I'm sure they'd
found you on that honeysuckle vine, I would melt in your embrace.
You disappear without a trace.
To die like this is no disgrace.
This is the time.
This is the place for you.
Just
Right for me.
Hey there, everybody. It's me, Terrible Tim, host of Drive-In Movie Maniacs. Don't be caught dead like my friend here. Be sure to tune in to our premiere Halloween night, 8 p.m. on Retro TV 25.9. TV 25. There's always something on.
Today we're going bonkers. I may not have any kids, but that's not going to stop me from acting like one. Let's go check it out. So I'm waiting here for the free PlayStations, so no one's come out to give those to me yet. So I'm going to go ahead and check these things out. Taking the shoes off first, see? Wouldn't you like to be my neighbor? Yep. Whew. Boy. That's a slide right there. You know, I am, hold on. This stuff takes a lot of energy.
Like Talk About Topeka on Facebook and find all of this great coverage in the archives on talkabouttopeka.com.
It isn't midnight yet. Who told them they could leave?
They never leave before midnight.
Well, they've gone now. I was going to ask you whether you wanted to stay or not, but it seems that the caretakers have made the decision for you. We're all locked in now.
But I don't want to stay.
I'm sorry, my dear, but it's too late now.
Darling, haven't you had enough of the silly game? Get some cars up here for these people and let them go home. But pay them first.
This is your party, remember? In spite of my wife's faith in my ability to do the impossible, we will all have to stay in this house until 8 o'clock in the morning. But we have some party favors for you in these little coffins. This is my wife's idea. And I must say, I think it's rather dangerous. I suppose you all know how to use one of these things, but in case you don't, you just press down on this lever with your thumb and then pull the trigger. You see, they're loaded.
These are no good against the dead, only the living.
Doctor? Lance? Nora?
Go ahead, take it.
Miss Bridges? And here's yours, dear.
I don't need it.
It was your idea. Who knows, you may want to use it on me before this night is over.
Throw these guns away. They won't do you any good.
I agree with Pritchard on that point, although not for the same reason.
Dr. Trent, don't you approve of our little party favors?
Suppose Nora had had a gun when she mistook the blind woman for a ghost.
I don't think anyone else is going to walk around in total darkness.
Oh, I'm sure we're not going to go running around the house shooting each other, aren't you?
Who knows? Fear makes people do amazing things.
Mr. Pritchard, you said your sister-in-law killed a man and a woman here and cut them up? You said they found hands and feet, but they never found any heads. Would you like to see one of those heads? Would you all like to see one of those heads? Well then, just follow me.
Darling, I really don't need this.
Just go look in my suitcase. Just go look. But it was in there. A woman's head.
Nora, I think you're a little upset. Would you care for a sedative?
Get out! Get out, all of you! All of you, get out of here and leave me alone! Just get out of here!
You think it's all right to leave her by herself, Doctor?
I wish she'd taken the sedative.
Well, what do you suppose she thought she saw?
They're closing in on her.
Look, Doc, I think somebody ought to stay with her.
There could be 1 million people around her. And if they wanted her, they'd get her.
What if he's right?
He's too drunk to know what he's talking about.
I wonder. I'll join you in a minute.
Do you think it would do any good if you went in and talked to her?
Well, do you think there really was a head in her suitcase?
I don't know.
A thing like that would put me right over the edge.
Look, would you sort of stay up here? I mean, in case she needs help?
All right. I'll be in my room. Just call it.
Thanks.
Are you sure there are only 7 people in this house?
Positive, except for the ghosts.
I don't believe in ghosts, nor in frightening women. In Nora's case, it's gone far enough. Perhaps too far.
What do you suggest we do about it, Doctor?
Don't frighten her any more.
Nora? 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 do you know about this?
They've taken her. In a little while, she'll be one of them.
Where's Norton? Where is she?
It's too late. It's too late. You'll never find her again.
Pritchard, if you know where she is, you better tell me now.
She's gone. She's gone with them. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Nora?
She's dead, Mr. Loren. Your wife hanged herself.
Suicide.
Please, hide me.
What's the matter?
Hide me. He tried to kill me. He grabbed me and choked me and put me in that room. And then he went away and left me.
Who?
He thought I was dead.
Who?
Mr. Lord.
Are you sure about this?
I don't know. It was dark, but it must have been him.
Has anybody seen you since he left you?
I heard some people in that room, but I went by and nobody saw me.
Mrs. Loren is dead.
But how?
Loren said she committed suicide, but I think somebody killed her.
Him?
I'm sure you've come to the same conclusion I have.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, let's all have a meeting, discuss what to do. The living room?
Okay, in a minute. I've got to go downstairs. Now, you lock yourself in here and don't let anybody know you're here. If he thinks you're dead, he won't come here. And I'll get back as soon as I can. You'll be all right. And if you have to, you use it.
So beautiful. So greedy. So cold. What are you doing in here?
Wait. Don't wait.
What do you mean coming in here?
I didn't want them to take her away.
You're drunk.
They will if you don't watch her.
You're drunk. All right, out with it, Pritchard. Why did you come into this room?
I'm the only one who understands.
Understands what?
Your wife isn't there anymore. She's already joined them.
Pritchard, I've had enough of your spook talk. Get out, you sot, and don't come back into this room again.
Where's what's-her-name? Nora.
I didn't disturb her since I don't think this concerns her.
No, you're right.
Mr. Loren, isn't there some way we can get out of this house now?
No, none at all.
We could try breaking out.
The only door to the outside is made of steel. The bars of the windows are set in solid stone. We gotta stay.
I'm not afraid of your ghosts, Pritchard. But I am afraid. When we came here a few hours ago, the only thing we had in common was the $10,000 we'd get. Now, however, we share something else. The death of Mrs. Loren. So far tonight, one of us was almost killed by a falling chandelier. One of us was mysteriously slugged. One of us has been driven to the brink of absolute hysteria. And one of us is dead. Were these accidents? Suicide? And we must stay here for 6 more hours.
6 hours? 6 of us. Time enough.
Who'll be next? How will it happen?
Let me ask you a question, Doctor. You were the first one to see my wife there. Did you also see anything that she could have climbed up on and then jumped?
No.
Did any of you? There was nothing. How then did she get up there so high?
Exactly, Mr. Loren. How? She couldn't have pulled herself up there. She couldn't have dropped from the ceiling. Do you think your wife killed herself?
No. She was murdered by one of you.
Or you, Mr. Loren. To deliberately kill someone, you must have a reason.
We were all strangers to your wife. Only you had a motive for murder.
What husband hasn't at some time wanted to kill his wife? What husband hasn't had 1,000 opportunities to do it in such a way so that he'd never be suspected? I'm not such a fool as to hang my wife from a ceiling by a rope.
The fact remains that you, or one of us, murdered Mrs. Loren. And that's a matter for the police.
So how do we get the police?
That's my point. We can't until morning. What began as a silly party given by an eccentric has now involved us all in murder.
For once, Pritchard may be right. If another murder's in the works, let's stop it now.
Another murder?
Why not? Maybe one of us saw too much.
Why should even a millionaire want to give each of us $10,000 to spend one night in a gloomy old house? To see some ghosts, have a party? No.
Have you finished trying me, Doctor? And is the verdict guilty of murder?
Oh, this isn't getting us anywhere. Somebody killed Mrs. Loren. We know that. One of us is guilty and the rest of us are innocent. Okay. Now, what we have to do for the next 6 hours is protect ourselves from each other.
Do you really think?
I don't think anything. I just know that I'm going to my room. And if anybody comes in, I'll shoot him. Or her.
And if we all stay in our rooms, we'll be safe. Because the innocent will have no reason to leave his room. And the guilty will admit his guilt if he or she does.
And we all have guns.
And we're all agreed?
Oh, I wish this night were over.
Rooms? Guns? I tell you, it doesn't make any difference.
They aren't through with us yet.
Hollywood calls that a jump scare. The film's opening was something of a jump scare gimmick. The total darkness, accompanied by horrible noises echoing in a large movie theater, would have been quite terrifying. The fact is somewhat lost on a modern viewer watching the film on a television screen without the volume and the scale to provide shock of theatrical sound and darkness. This feels quite familiar. I've told this story many times, but it's worth telling again. My first job started in a coffin when I was 5 years old, at the original Edge of Hell. It was a nice place for babysitting, actually, to where when I'd get tired of working inside the haunted attraction, my Uncle Monty would scoop me up, put me in a coffin above the large arched doorway of the original building, and I would throw down lots of very old dead flower petals from the local graveyards onto the souls who entered, or dared to enter, the Edge of Hell. So do tell if you're also into the paranormal or the spirits among us. There's one place in Kansas City that you will not want to miss: Elmwood Cemetery. Few will deny that there is something strangely different about old Elmwood Cemetery. There's a stillness there that's simply disturbing. Even when you're there alone, you get the feeling that you're not really alone, that someone or some things are watching you. Under the burnt brown grass, the mossy mausoleums, and all their crooked stones lie 36,000 dead souls, 36,000 bodies in moldy suits and dresses turned to dust. Since the first grave was dug at Elmwood Cemetery all the way back in 1872, it has become the final resting place for over 800 soldiers who fought in the Civil War. 12 former Kansas City mayors and many other prominent Kansas City residents whose names you might recognize from the streets and local landmarks, like Jacob Luce of Sunshine Biscuit fame and the beautiful park in South Kansas City that carries his name, Mary Atkins of the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art and the Armour Meatpacking Dynasty, and some of President Harry Truman's family. Others who lie here include Annie Chambers, the madam of Kansas City's most famous house of ill repute. Annie reformed her ways in the end so she could rest in peace here among Kansas City's famous and infamous. Zerelda James, the wife and first cousin of the killer Jesse James, was here, too, for a while. They kept her in an above-ground container until they could figure out where the family wanted her buried. Her sister-in-law, Annie Ralston, wife of the outlaw Frank James, was like thousands of others, burned to ashes in the crematorium at Elmwood. The old crematorium is now cold and no longer used, but the chamber is still there in the basement of the old chapel. The troubled soul of Frances Hyde Swope, the niece of Colonel Thomas H. Swope, who donated Swope Park to Kansas City, is also buried at Elmwood. Frances was married to Kansas City's most infamous doctor, Dr. Bennett Hyde. She wisely divorced him after the doctor was charged and tried for the murders of her uncle, Thomas Swope, Swope's cousin, Moss Hutton, and Frances's own brother, William Chrisman Swope. The mysterious and clever Dr. Hyde was also charged with attempting to poison 8 other people by infecting them with the typhoid fever. Strangely, the Missouri Supreme Court ruled that while there was evidence of various deaths and illnesses, there was no evidence of murder. After a series of mistrials and hung juries, Hyde was acquitted of all charges, although he died lonely and discredited as a doctor and as a human being.
Field of Greens has been a favorite locally owned downtown lunch spot ever since we opened in 2002. We had a dream that if we built it with the freshest ingredients, then people would come, and they did. We specialize in a salad bar with over 50 toppings to choose from. Homemade soups that would make your mom proud, because our mom cooks them from scratch every day. We've taken the art of baked potatoes to a new high with more unique toppings and combinations than you could possibly dream up. We also feature a full line of sandwiches and quesadillas made fresh to order. But what about something to quench your thirst? Field of Greens proudly brews many delicious flavors of Harney & Sons iced tea daily. Along with Coke products and Jet Tea smoothies, you'll be certain to find something that fills your craving. Did we mention the fresh baked cookies? Yeah, Mom makes those too. Come Come down and find out why Field of Greens has become a daily downtown tradition for so many people. For soups, salads, sandwiches, spuds, and smoothies, let our family serve you and yours. We're the Schultzes, and we proudly chose to do it downtown. Won't you join us?
I don't get scared easy, but I heard this place is really scary.
Go if you dare! Let me
Oh, my minions. It's an ambrosia alert. Dial 1-855-TV25-251 to win.
Starting out here at the Westboro Mart, and we're going to begin taking you on the tour of the First Friday Art Walk. The toy store really is a magical place.
Buy local.
It's time to go to Noto. Let's go check them out. You would not believe how hard it is to find blimp parking here in Noto. So finally here, and we're ready to start our trek down North Kansas Avenue for the Art Walk. There's thousands of people out here. They're all having a great time. There's music, there's food, there's fun, there's galleries. You know, when I was a kid, I was going to college. I dreamed of seeing scenes like Lorens in Topeka, and I say we got them right here. It exists. Like Talk About Topeka on Facebook and find all of this great coverage in the archives on talkabouttopeka.com.
You're sweeter than...
Oh, no, not that rhythm, Junior. Do it the way they do at the plaza. I know the words.
Sure, Becky. Will you sing with me?
Of course.
Do you think this place is really haunted?
All right.
I love a man who's witty and smart and clever.
Sweeter than honey, finer than wine. I'm sure they found you on that honeysuckle vine. I would melt in your embrace.
You disappear without a trace.
To die like this is no disgrace.
This is the time.
This is the place for you.
Just
right for me.
Hey there, everybody. It's me, Terrible Tim, host of Drive-In Movie Maniacs. Don't be caught dead like my friend here. Be sure to tune in to our premiere Halloween night, 8 p.m. on Retro TV 25.9. TV 25, there's always something on.
Field of Greens has been a favorite locally owned downtown lunch spot ever since we opened in 2002. We had a dream that if we built it with the freshest ingredients, then people would come, and they did. We specialize in a salad bar with over 50 toppings to choose from. Homemade soups that would make your mom proud, because our mom cooks them from scratch every day. We've taken the art of baked potatoes to a new high with more unique toppings and combinations than you could possibly dream up. We also feature a full line of sandwiches and quesadillas made fresh to order. But what about something to quench your thirst? Field of Greens proudly brews many delicious flavors of Harney & Sons iced tea daily. Along with Coke products and Jet Tea smoothies, you'll be certain to find something that fills your craving. Did we mention the fresh baked cookies? Yeah, Mom makes those too. Come down and find out why Field of Greens has become a daily downtown tradition for so many people. For soups, salads, sandwiches, spuds, and smoothies, let our family serve you and yours. We're the Schultzes, and we proudly chose to do it downtown. Won't you join us?
The director, William Castle, used a gimmick called a Murgo in the theaters. I love this! When the skeleton rises from the acid vat in the film, a lighted plastic skeleton on a wire appeared from a black box next to the screen. It would swoop in over the heads of the astonished audience, and then it would go back into the box as in the film it is reeled back in. Many theaters soon stopped using this effect because the local boys heard about it and they would bring their slingshots, their BBs, their ball bearings, whatever they had to kill the poor skeleton. So let's talk about getting scared. At Full Moon Productions and all of our attractions, we work with different levels. There's a high impact, a low impact, a true theatrical element, as well as special effects. So when you walk into one of our scenes, you break a laser beam that you are completely unaware of. And in that time, from point A to point B, we program down to the millisecond. Within the scene, we are trying to touch all of your senses. We use light, we use flashes of dark, and vice versa. Loud noises. But it's also about the ambiance. It's about creating the scene and making you believe in the theme and that your surroundings are real.
You shouldn't be here. It's not safe. Jack could be lurking around any minute. Hurry, run! John, run!
Which heightened whatever amazing animatronic, live character, or special effect is ready to roll into action. From the fog that floats on the werewolf forest floor to the amazing moons that shine overhead, we believe in the full moon and its amazing abilities to create the scare within you. Inside the edge of hell, you will experience tons of high impact. It's old school, guided, within the scenes to carry you through the path, and it is never a dull moment. High impact means that they are constantly in your face, in your space, and everyone reacts differently. Now, inside the Beast, it's all about the theatrical production, the special effects, as well as the low impact, which means you're caught off guard or startled, but maybe not right in your face, or maybe not as loud noises. Inside the macabre cinema, you're back to a very unnerving mix of high impact, low impact, and phobias, especially clowns.
Bye-bye.
Which can carry their own essence of the full moon glowing from within.
There are so many wonderful sights in Noto, but my favorite thing to do is to stare at the chess.
Topeka is a great arts town.
So we're at the Merchant here in downtown Topeka, and we're going to be looking at the chalk art drawings. The way this worked is the artists put chalk art out on Kansas Avenue, and then they had a cup like this, and folks who would walk by and stuff their money in the cup to vote on which one they think was the best drawing. And all of the money goes to Let's Help, so it's a wonderful cause, and we're going to show you some of the drawings. It's starting to get a little dark out here, but I think we can give you some good results.
Like Talk About Topeka on Facebook and find all of this great coverage in the archives on talkabouttopeka.com.
The opening scene of this movie launched an entire industry of sound effect records. It helped the film industry, but it also created a lot of ambience at home Halloween parties. So, tell me, what is your favorite sound effect? Go ahead, tell me on Facebook at Ambrosia, Queen of Haunts, or TV25.
I'm Chris Schultz. Today we're out here at KNI. We're going to be checking out the Hidden Treasures Mall, and we're going to be speaking to their superintendent.
The services provided here really do an effective job of meeting their needs, and we have resources that allow us to provide really comprehensive services to the people who live here.
I get these awards, and I got a Champion of Character award, and I just keep shaking my head that I must have everybody fooled.
I would not say that. I think we're lucky to have you in Topeka here doing this. Like Talk About Topeka on Facebook and find all of this great coverage in the archives on talkabouttopeka.com.
I don't get scared easy, but I heard this place is really scary.
Go if you dare! Let me
Oh, my minions, it's an Ambrosia alert. Dial 1-855-TV25-251 to win.
Field of Greens has been a favorite locally owned downtown lunch spot ever since we opened in 2002. We had a dream that if we built it with the freshest ingredients, then people would come, and they did. We specialize in a salad bar with over 50 toppings to choose from. Homemade soups that would make your mom proud, because our mom cooks them from scratch every day. We've taken the art of baked potatoes to a new high with more unique toppings and combinations than you could possibly dream up. We also feature a full line of sandwiches and quesadillas made fresh to order. But what about something to quench your thirst? Field of Greens proudly brews many delicious flavors of Harney & Sons iced tea daily. Along with Coke products and Jet Tea smoothies, you'll be certain to find something that fills your craving. Did we mention the fresh baked cookies? Yeah, Mom makes those too. Come down and find out why Field of Greens has become a daily downtown tradition for so many people. For soups, salads, sandwiches, spuds, and smoothies, let our family serve you and yours. We're the Schultzes, and we proudly chose to do it downtown. Won't you join us?
You're sweeter than...
Oh, no, not that rhythm, Junior. Do it the way they do at the plaza. I know the words.
Sure, Becky. Will you sing with me?
Of course.
Do you think this place is really haunted?
All right.
I love a man who's witty and smart and clever.
Sweeter than honey, finer than wine. I'm sure they found you on that honeysuckle vine. I would melt in your embrace.
You disappear without a trace.
To die like this is no disgrace.
This is the time.
This is the place for you.
Just
right for me.
Hey there, everybody. It's me, Terrible Tim, host of Drive-In Movie Maniacs. Don't be caught dead like my friend here. Be sure to tune in to our premiere Halloween night, 8 p.m. on Retro TV 25.9. TV 25. There's always something on.
Field of Greens has been a favorite locally owned downtown lunch spot ever since we opened in 2002. We had a dream that if we built it with the freshest ingredients, then people would come, and they did. We specialize in a salad bar with over 50 toppings to choose from. Homemade soups that would make your mom proud, because our mom cooks them from scratch every day. We've taken the art of baked potatoes to a new high with more unique toppings and combinations than you could possibly dream up. We also feature a full line of sandwiches and quesadillas made fresh to order. But what about something to quench your thirst? Field of Greens proudly brews many delicious flavors of Harney & Sons iced tea daily. Along with Coke products and Jet Tea smoothies, you'll be certain to find something that fills your craving. Did we mention the fresh baked cookies? Yeah, Mom makes those too. Come down and find out why Field of Greens has become a daily downtown tradition for so many people. For soups, salads, sandwiches, spuds, and smoothies, let our family serve you and yours. We're the Schultzes, and we proudly chose to do it downtown. Won't you join us?
What's the use of saying goodnight?
Good night.
Good night, Doctor.
Nora, it's me, Lance. You okay? They've all gone to their rooms and locked themselves in.
Lance, I've been thinking. It was so dark down there. Maybe it wasn't Mr. Loren.
It was him, all right. He tried to kill you, and he did kill his wife.
How can you be so sure?
She tried to warn me, asked me to help her. The doc thinks he's going to try and kill one of us. Now, there must be a way out of this place, and I'm going to find it and get the police before he does.
I'm going with you.
What if he finds out you're alive? No, Nora. You're safer here than any place else. Now, just lock yourself in and keep quiet. If I find a way out, I'll come back and get you.
An admission of guilt, Doctor?
Certainly not. There's either somebody else in this house or one of us has left his room. Did you hear anything?
Organ music?
That, and someone walking.
You got yours? Ready?
You look downstairs, and I'll look up here.
Why not together?
There may be only minutes, seconds left of someone's life. Why waste time? It's almost over, darling. Every detail was perfect.
What's happening?
We've done it. A perfect crime. Beautiful.
Has she killed him?
Not yet, but she will.
Get me out of this hanging harness. What's taking that girl so long? What time is it?
At first, I couldn't get Nora to want to protect herself with a gun. But after you appeared at the window, everything began to work just as we had planned. You were wonderful. Just the touch that finally drove her into complete hysteria.
It'll be worth all of our planning, darling. Where's Nora now? What's happening?
On her way to the cellar. So scared she'll shoot the first thing that moves.
And Frederick?
On his way to the cellar, too.
David, are you sure none of them will suspect us?
Of what? An hysterical girl accidentally shoots somebody? Who would suspect that we planned it that way, that we drove her to it?
What about my suicide?
But just a ghost party gag. We'll claim it was a dummy since I'm the only one who touched you.
And the caretakers?
But they had no idea what they were really doing.
What about Nora? She's not stupid, you know.
Darling, believe me, everything we planned is working perfectly. Nora is sure Frederick murdered you. She thinks Frederick attacked her in the cellar, not me. And now Nora's almost out of her mind with fear. The heads, the music, you're hanging. I tell you, when Frederick walks in there, she'll shoot him.
It's taking too long. David, you ought to be there.
When you hear the shot, come down to the cellar.
David? David?
even my life. But you are not going to live to enjoy it. Come with me, murderess. Come with me. You two planned was indeed perfect. Only the victim is alive and the murderers are not. It's a pity you didn't know when you started your game of murder that I was playing too.
There must be some way to get in here.
Oh, it's right along here somewhere.
Lance! I've shot Mr. Loren. He's down in the wine cellar.
Alive?
I don't think so. It's him. He's alive.
You didn't shoot anyone, my dear. I loaded your gun with blanks. I can tell you all now. Trent and my wife were planning to kill me. They failed. Trent tried to throw me in the vat. My wife stumbled and fell. I'm ready for justice to decide if I'm innocent or guilty.
Now there are 9. There'll be more, many more. They're coming for me now. And then they'll come for you.
People are still kind of leery and scared of sponsorship, of donation.
Sure.
Because what if the Topeka Veterans Day Parade doesn't stay and it goes away next year?
You know, that's where it comes down to we the people. You know, we have to stick together. We have to get behind these causes and we have to make them work. And you have to start to change the world by doing it right here at home.
Welcome to DART 2013. We have 26 teams doing the dart and 11 teams doing the dartini, so it's a record.
All right. Good to go? Yeah, no, just making sure. We've just run like 27 miles.
Like Talk About Topeka on Facebook and find all of this great coverage in the archives on talkabouttopeka.com.
Oh my gosh, that's priceless!
She's afraid of clowns.
I'm terrified of clowns, but he keeps tormenting me. Everybody look at Jim.
Oh, you're really good at this game.
Thank you for watching Macabre Cinema. There's been lots of screams and laughter. Maybe, if I awake, we'll see you next year.
Field of Greens has been a favorite locally owned downtown lunch spot ever since we opened in 2002. We had a dream that if we built it with the freshest ingredients, then people would come, and they did. We specialize in a salad bar with over 50 toppings to choose from. Homemade soups that would make your mom proud, because our mom cooks them from scratch every day. We've taken the art of baked potatoes to a new high with more unique toppings and combinations than you could possibly dream up. We also feature a full line of sandwiches and quesadillas made fresh to order. But what about something to quench your thirst? Field of Greens proudly brews many delicious flavors of Harney & Sons iced tea daily. Along with Coke products and Jet Tea smoothies, you'll be certain to find something that fills your craving. Did we mention the fresh baked cookies? Yeah, Mom makes those too. Come down and find out why Field of Greens has become a daily downtown tradition for so many people. For soups, salads, sandwiches, spuds, and smoothies, let our family serve you and yours. We're the Schultzes, and we proudly chose to do it downtown. Won't you join us?
Do you think more people will choose to stay and fight for marriage equality, or will they flee to other states who've already allowed it?
I think that I hope people choose to stay and fight. This is the free state, and we should make ground here.
That doesn't sound very realistic.
That's because you're a heathen.
We were going to come here. I was like, Kansas, that backward state? I got here and I immediately ate my words.
This feels like the big city.
Yeah, it is.
This is, without being, in Chicago or New York, this is our version of Chicago or New York here in Topeka. So
that's right.
We're able to provide tools that really can make a difference.
We're not even going to be able to show you a smidgen of the things we were able to pick up here on this tour because these guys are a wealth of information.
Like Talk About Topeka on Facebook and find all of this great coverage in the archives on talkabouttopeka.com.